It's time for the big project. I'm going to make a Gothish apron. Actually, no, I'm going to make a Gothish Pinafore. Hello, it's Icy. Yes, that's right. It's time for the biggest of the projects for the 12 days of Gothmas. I'm going to make a pinafore. The original idea was I would make an apron because, you know, the whole end of year celebrations, sometimes you see pictures of lovely people wearing aprons as they prepare a fine meal for their loved ones. I don't actually have a fancy apron. So I was like, oh, why don't I make a fancy apron? That sounds great. And then the next step in my brain went, not just a fancy apron. If I put a proper back on that thing, I can actually have a fancy pinafore / maybe almost a dress. So that's the current plan. I may, in a different video, I haven't decided yet, also make an apron because why not? The original plan was to make this in like a burgundy color, a dark red, because that always works. But I couldn't find any really good material to make it in dark red. I found some broadcloth, which is fine. It doesn't actually give a great result. It'd be perfectly acceptable, but not actually great. Then, as per a previous video you will have seen in this playlist, do check the playlist, I actually found, bear with me, a bedspread. So actually a Duna / duvet cover in this, look at this gorgeous, gorgeous grey. This is 100% linen. As you can see right now with my sparkly white hair, is actually the exact right color for me. I did want to make it in linen initially, but the material shop had nothing at all that was appropriate. And then, yes, this. So I bought that bedspread. It was $40 Australian. That gets me, I guess, about, I'm trying to work it out, it's probably giving me about 4 meters of material. I won't use all of, so $10 a meter for linen is about half price. So I won't use all of it in the pinafore, but I will use the rest of the linen for other projects just because it's absolutely gorgeous. So it's certainly not wasted, and it's a lot cheaper than I would have paid if I'd been able to find linen. The broadcloth is, I will just use that for other hobby projects, probably even for Gothmas hobby projects, to be honest. It'll be fine. So, and it was only, I got, I think, 1.5 meters. No, I would have got 3 meters, sorry, and that was $5 a meter. So, material is really expensive in Australia. I don't know if it's the same prices everywhere in the world, but it's really pricey. So, anyway, I am going to turn this into a pinafore. This is the plan. I'm going to put a picture now of roughly what I want to do. I found this on Instagram and I was like, yes, I want something like that. So that's the plan. So the next step is to draw up a rough plan, maybe with a few rough measurements. Most of the way I'll do this is I'm actually going to take an existing dress or something that fits me and then use some of that as a bit of a pattern. But let's do some drawing up of a plan, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I think I do want a gentle V, like the image I showed you before. And the main reason I want that is because I do plan to be wearing this with something that has a collar sometimes, not always, but a V-neck here will look better with something with a collar than otherwise. The sleeves are going to be relatively large, not so large that I couldn't wear this as a top or a tunic if I didn't want. So in other words, this does need to cover any bra straps or anything, so it does, these armholes can't come all the way down like maybe a traditional apron would. It needs to actually come close enough that we can, I can wear it. So there will be a belt, because that would give that apron pinafore kind of feel. And then it's going to go to, I guess, mid-calf, and there's going to be a small amount of gather here. I will probably need to put in some bust darts. Now, the way the pattern pieces are actually going to look is, what I'm going to do is make two. So it's going to look a bit like this. So it's going to come out, this is the top at the front. It's going to come out like this. It's probably actually going to come fairly low down here actually. All the way down to about there. So this line here is the side of the body, and then this is going to come past the side of the body. So we've got this, it's like V-neck here, and then, I haven't given myself enough room, then the belt is going to come actually I might bring that all the way down, I think. The belt is going to come all the way through here like this, and then the skirt piece is going to start out here. This obviously is going to have rough edges here around the sleeves and around the neck. I have two options and I haven't really decided which. I can either literally make two front pieces and two back pieces, or make a front piece and then just have this sort of middle section cut out, and then you basically do some tricky stuff. So this is sewn to this and it's turned inside out, and then you've got like really neat edges. The other option is I could actually bind the edges with a strip of material. So that's the plan. So pieces I need are, I'll need two skirt pieces, we'll call them. I need a waistband, and it's going to be very, very, very long. I might need two. And then I need the two front sections. Oh, sorry, I need the front section, something like this. And I need the back section, very similar, probably slightly taller. And it's going to have a scooped neck instead. So, and it might probably come down slightly longer as well. And that's it.
Okay, so that's the cutout. So this is the initial cut. I've just pinned it at the top, across the shoulders. Okay, so where's my chalk? If I take it down to about there, that's okay. The back then I need to scoop further. The dress I was working off was a stretch dress, so that's a different thing. And then literally I'm just gonna pin it. I don't know if it's gonna sit here and have quite a short waist. Oh, okay, yeah, so you can see the back should probably sit there, like lower, and the front should sit higher. So, okay, so we're making this shorter. Oh, well, I might need to recut this top piece then, actually, because if I'm making it, okay, what I need, because I still need these tags on either end, what I actually need to do is cut it like this much shorter here, and then put the neckline and then just move this whole section up. So that means these bust darts are in the wrong spot. But this might mean, because this is going to go about, I'll probably just pin it like this for a minute. That's going to go about there, which means, yes, actually, I am going to cover up the sides here properly. So what I'll do now is I will re-cut this front piece. I will re-jiggle the back section as well, because I want to turn the back into like a more of a scoop, and I want it to, you see right now it's sitting fairly high up. I actually want that to go, do I want that to go down the back a bit? I do, because if I could wear this without a shirt, or at least maybe just a singlet top, I'd like to be able to show off my tattoos that I've got across my back. So yeah, I'll cut the back down a bit. Next step, redo this, and then probably, I don't know. I don't know what the next step is after that. I'll think about it while I'm cutting this out. Anyway, let's do that.
All right, I'm back. This is actually several hours later. I needed to take a break for 2 hours in the middle of this process as well. So I have nominally 2 hours left today to finish this project. Otherwise, I'll need to move it into another day. That would be inconvenient. So, if you were paying attention to the previous little time-lapse section, you'll note I completely changed my mind about doing the tidying up of around the sleeves and the neckline with bias binding, because it struck me, oh my god, I would actually have to make binding cut on the diagonal of the material, because the curve around the sleeve and around the neck is strong enough that the binding would need to twist. So bias binding is actually cut on the bias, so on the diagonal, so it will evenly go around curves. And that is a pain in the ass to make. And so I went, you know what, I have enough material, I'm just gonna make interfacing. So that's basically I've made, this is the back piece, and then, oh, I didn't mark them. Oh dear. That would have been a good idea. Hang on. What have I got here? Right, this is the back piece with the back cut out. So this will be on the inside of the material. It'll mean that I can finish nicely all around the neck and the sleeves, but it won't be too hot. On a very fancy kind of dress, or one where you want some structure here, you would actually iron on what's called actually interfacing. That's the actual word for it. You'd actually iron on interfacing, which would add more structure. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to assemble the bodice, so the top part. I'm going to be sewing the front and the back. Actually, I'm going to do the front darts first around the bust. Then I'm going to sew the front and the back across the shoulders. I'll sew the lining front and back across the shoulders. Then I'm going to, sorry, I'm just remembering how to do this properly. I'm going to put it front face together. Oh, is that going to work? So I'll cut vertically down the back of the lining and the main section. There is a reason, because then basically I can turn it, I can sew all the way around the sleeves and the neck, and then there's a tricky thing where you can basically turn it inside out, so all the seams are hidden at that point. Yes. Good thing I remembered that, because otherwise there would have been unpicking to do, and man, I hate unpicking. Okay. So after I just spent several minutes telling you how I only had so much time left, and then pinning the front pieces to the back pieces and saying you need to do this carefully to make sure you don't get it the wrong way around, I got 3 out of the 4 pieces the wrong way around. So had to unpick 3 separate top seams and re-sew them, as you do. And this bit's quite tricky, so I did want to show you this bit specifically. Okay, turn this way around. Okay, so there's the lining. You can see it's like this, and it goes over like this. Obviously, this needs to be turned inside out. So what we do is we actually just take the front and then just through the actual sleeve, through the actual shoulder seam, we just pull the back section through, which is why you can't do this if the back is not in two separate pieces. Et voila! Well, turn like that. Done. So, the next step is to press this flat. I haven't done any ironing up until now. Now is the time to start ironing because I can press it really neatly while it's actually in one big flat piece. Then, what I'll do is I will grab the end of the edges, pin them together basically. Oh my god, what am I doing? Oh shivers, what am I doing? Is that right? I have to think about, yes, that's... No, it's okay. Right, I'm confusing myself. Okay, so normally you would take the side seams, the inside and the outside, and then just kind of go runk and just sew it. There are no side seams in this outfit, which is why I'm getting confused. Okay, all I need to do... Okay. This is what sewing is like without a pattern. All I need to do is I need to take the back seam. This is the center back seam. I need to take the two center back seams, including the little top bit of lining, and just pin them together, right sides together, and then just sew it. Then I'll be able to drop it over my head as a completed top piece. Oh my god. Anyway, next step is ironing, and then sewing. Anyway, let's go do some ironing. So, the next step is, I have no idea. Yes I do actually. No, okay. So I have the skirt pieces already cut out, and they are literally rectangles. So, I'm going to hem the edges. I'm going to run a non-finished line of stitches across the top. Gather the material to give it a fine gather so that the finished length is basically from about 5 centimeters around my hip, roughly, 5 centimeters past the center line, so to speak, all the way around to back again. So ultimately there'll be about 10 centimeters of overlap on the sides. And then once I've done that, I actually have no idea what happens next. I think probably what I'll end up doing is I'll probably just pin it together and then fake try it on, like this, and see how it looks. And then once I've done that, then I'll work out how I want to do, also how I want to do the final, attaching. Do I want a really long waistband that I can go front and back, just wrap all the way around and then tie back at the front again? Or do I want something a little more subtle, where it's just some buttons, or buttons at the side maybe, or buttons sort of 3/4 of the way around or something? Or even, just not have just literally sew the edges. I could possibly do that. I'll come back in a minute. And I'm going to hem the edges of the skirt pieces. So that's, wow. Okay, lengthwise, it's, jeez, that looks, okay. You can tell I'm really pleased. All right, so the question is,
Does it need a waistband, or do I just go with this? All right, so if two options. One is I can have the back. Oh yeah, look, it's gonna cover the armholes. Oops, it's just come unpinned. I'm gonna lose a pin in a sec. The armholes really well. Okay, so one option is like this. So I can either have it tied for a more fitted look, or, okay, as I've already unpinned myself here, I'm very scared. If I yell, oh jeez, you'll know why. Oh, I keep stabbing myself on the inside. All right. Okay, so the overlap. There's enough. Okay, so if I do that, there is basically the overlap is very safe. So if I was walking in this, there is no way that, you know, if I was wearing pants or something underneath, the pants wouldn't show through, or the skirt for that matter. So I either just sew down the sides and go, oh, it's not a pinafore, it's a dress, which is an option. Or I could increase the gather so that it finishes closer to the side points. I mean, it is like finishing where I wanted it to. There's just much less like freedom or overlap than I thought there would be, which is interesting. And then the other option is how I want this to sit. So do I want this to be loose, traditional, you know, traditional loose floating linen dress equivalent, or do I want it to have more shape? So if I do that, that's the equivalent of basically just being pinned into place. So the dress I've got on, it's not linen, but it's cut in a similar kind of way, and I just drop it over my head. So it's not like it has to be fitted to look nice. And obviously there's a lot of layers of material here, so this is all looking a little chunky anyway. Meaning I'm wearing a dress and then I've got the extra folds of fabric hanging around. So let's fold that like that. And then put that on there. It's gone from looking modern linen to 1800s nursing. 1900s, I guess. Well, World War I nurse, which is not the vibe I'm going. Not really the vibe I'm going for. All right, so what could I do here? So if I was going to turn this into a dress, which I could do fairly easily. Oh, second pin down. Okay, so basically I need to get this at a point where it's going to cover any bra straps. So go here and here, and then just go out in a diagonal from there, and just make like a swing dress. Maybe, or even go like that, make it like just close that section and then leave the rest, leave the sides unsewn. Ow. I'm shedding pins here and I'm getting stabbed and I'm afraid I'm going to walk on them. And it's getting quite warm here today, so I'm wearing like a cool long sleeve dress and a linen dress over top of that. And man, I'm glad I cut out the inside of this. Ow. Oh jeez. This is gonna be such a long video. All right. Do you know what? I think that's I think that's the look I want. And then I could make, on the sides here, I could make box pleats. So sew this section, join it down to sort of top of mid-thigh, I guess, and then fold back the sections and sew it across there. So there'd be a pleat for extra volume, but when I walked, it would be more tunicky. I think that would work. The one problem with this will be the volume of material inside. Actually, I should be able to get rid of most of the volume, which is kind of pinned again, most of the volume here at the top, because I'll just chop all that out basically, all that extra fabric. And it's only the waist, the skirt section that would fold back in on itself to make the box pleat. But that's okay, if there's more material sort of from here down, it should be okay. It looks a little kind of broad, wide. It sits a bit weird at the front, but I think if I do all the thing that I'm planning to do here, I think that will be fine. I do want it relatively loose. I'm looking for that loose linen sort of look, which I think it will be fine. And it will be very cool to wear in summer, which is the other advantage. So I get to be grey goth in summer. Is this really a Gothmas dress or Gothmas apron after all of this? No. No, not particularly, but we're gonna go with this idea anyway. So the next step is for me to go and have a good look in the mirror, do some pinning, work out what happens. Sew the skirt to the top, work out what I'm doing with the pleats and things on the side, and hem the bottom, because I haven't hemmed the bottom yet because I wasn't sure about how the length would work depending on what it looked like. So will I get this done today? Maybe. Maybe. I'll get more done today, and if nothing else, I can probably finish it and then I might need to record a reveal video tomorrow, possibly. We'll see. Anyway, next step. I return with a completed pinafore. However, it's now, I was doing the sewing on Friday, I was doing the unpicking on Saturday, and now it's Tuesday. So I finished this Monday night. What happened was I put on the pinafore that you saw previously with the gather. I put it on without this dress, and I looked at it and I said, oh, I wasn't really going for a 1910s nurse. And so I had to go away and think about it for a while. I unpicked I took out the gather. I had to redo the neck and the shoulders, and I made the width of the shoulders a lot skinnier. I changed the direction of the front pieces. This side here used to go across here with the gather, and I've just like turned it through 90 degrees. It got very, very complicated. So let me show you what I've got now. Basically, I do have a pinafore. I have a front and a back. This is pretty much the same. The overall shape and structure is much the same, so quite long. On the back, what I've done is, I found it didn't actually wrap around my waist enough, so I've added some extra panels. I've got some little clips to hold it all together, so it's working quite well. Okay, should we try it on? Alright, actually, technically, I haven't actually tried this with this clip yet. I only put this on very last thing last night. So hopefully, okay, I have a second one, which would appear that I'll need, and I haven't sewn that on yet. But it should be fine because it's just going to be hidden while we do this. There we go. There we go. All right, so I can either tie it at the back or I can bring it around to the front. Or even, I mean, the straps are actually, straps. Ties are long enough that I can actually have it even on the side if I want it. You can't, it's nowhere near, the camera is aimed wrong. That's fine. So it's fully separated. There's enough, as you can see, there's enough overlap here that I can wear this without a dress or a skirt underneath, or even pants actually, which I've got a plan to wear this with pants. So in summer I can just wear it as is. It's still giving off mild nurse vibes, but it's not too bad. I think it's probably better just tied behind. And I do have an option as I can either have it tied quite tight, or I can like leave it looser for kind of a more effective linen look really, which is kind of better looser anyway. So this whole thing took so long to do. I'm actually not sure. I didn't tally up how long this whole project took to actually complete, but it was sort of, I think it's probably like 3 or 4 hours on the first day, and then I guess probably another 4 hours all up, probably, with unpicking and resewing, and if you add in thinking time, probably even longer. So in the end, I'm pleased. I will wear it. I will wear it as a pinafore in the colder months, and it's November, but it's like 19 degrees today, so it's perfectly fine right now. And in summer, I should be able to wear it just as a dress. I did note when I was trying it on, the grey washes me out a little too much without a black contrast. So I'm probably always going to wear it with some sort of black t-shirt or something underneath. It's just, I mean, if I'm hanging around the house and I need a cool dress, that's fine. But if I'm going out anywhere, I think I'll need to have like a black t-shirt or something on with it. It's just, the grey is great. It just washes me out a little too much. So this was my massive Gothmas sew. All of the other projects are much smaller compared to this, and much simpler as well. This was the actually the first time in a long time that I've basically designed and put together an outfit, a dress in this case, without a pattern. That I just kind of tried some stuff on and winged it, which is, so it's very satisfying that ultimately it turned out. I have a plan for another one where I'm going to go off an existing pattern, but then probably turn it into my own thing. But that's probably for after the Gothmas season, even though it's a very, very goth kind of sew. But yeah, I'm very happy. So the ultimate aim is, once I've finished all my little Gothmas outfit projects, I will put them all together and take a photograph. But that's still coming. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for still watching if you're still here. Do check out the other Gothmas projects in the link in the corner. And thank you. Let me know, what do you think? I'd be interested to see. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you next time. Bye.